if you're trying to change your life and you're not changing how you see yourself, it's probably not going to happen. So I've been reflecting even more on this energy of identity shifting. And I'm starting to see a little bit of how I got to the point where I was able to shift myself, which is changing the way I feel, which I already know is going to change my life. So, over the past few years, I have been really working on nervous system regulation. I have been using toning, I've been using light language, I've been using lots of different frequencies, I've been using forests, I've been using nature, I've been using movement, I've been using a bit of breath, and I've been working on establishing a new baseline for my nervous system. And in doing that, I feel like I've laid a beautiful foundation for me now to move into a period of change to shift my identity and shift my life. So this past week, if you saw my previous video, I just cut off like, I don't know, that much hair. More to come next week because this isn't done yet. But in doing that, I knew there was like something kind of bubbling under the surface of things wanting to change. Like I know that I'm changing the background in this space. I need to change the energy of this space. And now all of a sudden I've shifted the way I see myself, the way I'm seen by others, simply through a haircut. But it has done so much more than that. It has actually brought me a lot of internal healing with my younger self, with the part of me that always felt like she had to grow her hair really long, and is opening me up to a new version of myself. And so this is where the identity shifting really comes in again. So multiple times in my life, I have made big changes. So when I was 21 years old, I stopped what it was 4 years of heroin addiction. Okay, so I was a drug addict for my 17 to 21, almost 22 years. Okay, and in order to change that in my life, I had to go through lots of shifts in my own identity. I had to start seeing myself as, at the time I was working at a bank. So I was seeing myself and putting myself into the environment of people that were, responsible and helping people with money. And I had to take myself into that realm and start to see myself as that and see my worth, that I could actually eliminate this pattern of addiction in my life at that point. Fast forward to, other times in my life once I was done the drug addiction, it did shift into alcohol for a while. But in order to shift out of that identity, again, I had to see myself as somebody who could go to the bar and not drink. And that was huge. It took me, a month or two to be able to actually go back out into a social setting and just ask for a tonic or a soda water and not actually get something that had alcohol in it. And so in order to shift your life, you need to shift the way you're seeing yourself. You need to see yourself in the environment with others differently than where you've been, because your nervous system is just going to keep you where you are always. It wants safety for you. It wants the familiar. It's not going to take you into something that it doesn't know. Okay. You have to find safety in yourself first in order to then take yourself into those other experiences. So the ways that I did that back then was, I started going to the gym. I started taking care of my body. I started eating differently. All those things are really important in not only how your body feels for your nervous system to feel regulated, but also for your mind. When I quit drinking, I was meditating all the time. I was doing yoga. It's really about cultivating environment externally and internally so that you feel like you can move into a new space safely, into a new way of being safely. But then also seeing yourself as that version, as that that possibility is the only way to start to change your life. So when I decided to stop drinking, I was driving home from Edmonton to Calgary after visiting a friend over a weekend, and we went out drinking. And of course, I drank too much, and she said to me, like, where are you going to be in 5 years if you don't change your ways? And I was like, oh my God, like, where would I be? And more importantly, who would I be if I didn't change my ways in 5 years, right? And so that question, like, brewed in me for the 2.5 hours of me driving from Edmonton back to Calgary. And by the time I got to Calgary, I was like, I'm quitting drinking, right? And this was like 2011. A month later, my dad passed away from cancer. And I can tell you, I am so glad that I was sober when that happened, because I don't know how I would have been if I had still been drinking at that time. So, blessings in disguise. But the drive, the transformational drive that I took that day to decide that this is something that I needed to do, I didn't know how I was going to do it. I had no idea. All I knew is that I wasn't going to, and I was going to actually, change my ways and start being a person who comes home for the evening, makes supper. And I started like making supper, lighting a candle for myself, so that I was like doing something new and seeing myself in a new way in order to change my actions and my behaviors. And so I did that for, about 30 days. I remember writing in my journal, like, what, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. And really, like, in that time, congratulating myself, really, walking through the emotions of discomfort, walking past the bar on my way home from work, past the liquor store on my way home from work, but seeing myself as that new possibility, that I'm the only one that can change this. Nobody else can change this for me, right? And I know this because, I had been through addiction in the past. And so this was new, but not new. But still, you have to meet yourself in the moment, right? So if there's something right now in your life that you're like, I really just don't want that lifestyle anymore. I don't want to be that person anymore. I don't want that to be my reality anymore. You need to start looking at, one, how am I taking care of myself? So how am I regulating my nervous system? What am I eating? How am I moving? What environments am I in? How am I regulating myself? Okay. And then second, start looking at how you're seeing yourself. Do you see yourself as somebody who could do the opposite thing, could do the thing you really want to be, the person that you really want to be? Start to see that in yourself. Start to see how, that becomes a part of you. So, me with this new haircut, I'm seeing like a lighter version of myself. I'm seeing something that is, I'm no longer like drugged down by the weight of my hair, by the weight of my past, and I'm seeing myself with a new light, whimsical, playful, joyful, ready to express herself again. Yeah, I've been holding myself back for the last, 4 or 5 years, maybe longer. Oh my God. Oh, probably 4 or 5 years. And not doing videos like this because I was judging myself. I was stuck in nervous system dysregulation. I was judging, the identity of who I was, right? And so this is me finding a resurgence of truth of who I am and how I want to show up here in the world. And so I'm really inviting you into that same type of awareness. Be aware of like how it is you want to show up in the world. What's the gifts you want to give out into the world? Who do you want to be? What's the change you want to see in the world? And start being that change for yourself first. Okay. And when you do that, you're going to light yourself forward into momentum of where you really want to be and who you really want to be. So I'm going to leave you with that. And I hope that serves you well. Really think about your own patterns of your own environment, who you surround yourself with. What are you eating? How are you taking care of yourself? And know that you have the power to make a change and see yourself in a new light and change your life, change your identity, change your life, take care of yourself. You got this. All right. Sending you so much love. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And I hope to connect with you again very soon. All right.